Welcome, everyone. We're super excited to present this webinar today and talk about using a video profile in your job search. Let's start with a few introductions and announcements. First of all, my name is Brett Williams, and I'm one of the founders of Me-in-3. I'm also the president and lead the day-to-day operations of the company. We're joined today by Sarah Austin, who heads up customer success for Me-in-3. Sarah will be walking us through how to use the Me-in-3 platform in your outbound job search. This is the first in a series of webinars that we're going to be doing. While this one focuses on using Me-in-3, others will be more generic and discuss other tips and tricks that will be helpful in finding a job during these difficult times that we're in. Even though many of you on this call have already created an account with Me-in-3, I think you'll find this webinar very useful. We are going to discuss why you should use Me-in-3 in your job search, how to set up an account, how to improve your profile, how to make a great video, and how to share your profile to assist in getting a job. We are recording the webinar today so it can be replayed by others in the future. And if you have any questions, please type those into the Q&A part of the Zoom meeting window, and we'll answer those at the end of the session. So let's go ahead and get started. So what is Me-in-3? We developed Me-in-3 for two primary reasons. The first is to help job seekers show your personality, tell your story, set yourself apart. And then we created it for job creators in order to change the way hiring is done forever and help them see personality and passion, hear the whole story, and save a tremendous amount of time whenever they're going through the hiring process. So why should you create a Me-in-3 profile? There are four reasons that really stand out for us whenever we see people create their profile. The first is to be able to tell their story. The next is to stand out. We also know that we're in a new reality these days, and then hiring managers really need this to help them in their process. So let's start with tell your story. Oftentimes, especially whenever we have, for instance, students that are in university and seeking a job for the first time, the resume is different from what the goals are. So maybe whenever they started college, they had one thing in mind as far as what they wanted to do, but as the years have progressed in their academic achievements, they've learned and decided that they wanted to do something different. So maybe the job they're looking for is not what their resume actually represents. Another important way to tell your story, or reason to tell your story, is maybe you have limited experience. Again, new students coming out of college, others that may not have a lot of experience in the field that they're looking to get into. This limited experience can be explained in a story. Maybe you're going through a change in career. We have people all the time that tell us that the job that they're in today is not the job they want to have. They're just not happy doing what they're doing, and they want to make a change in their career path. And the best way to make that transition is by explaining in their story why they want to make the change. Because if a jobs creator is only looking at a resume, what they see is a list of skills that don't represent the job that they're looking to hire. And this is a great way to share that story and talk about why you want to make a change in career. Maybe you've had a lapse in work, maybe to take care of a sick relative or an illness, or maybe you're a stay-at-home mom that's wanting to get back into the workforce. These are all reasons why there may be a lapse in your resume, and it gives you the opportunity to tell your story in your video. It's important in these current times, and as we roll out of the current situation, to be able to stand out and set yourself apart. You can do this by the way you create your video profile. It gives you an opportunity to show your personality, show your soft skills, as we say, You can also show creativity. This is a great opportunity and way for you to show creativity in the way you present your information. We've had a lot of job seekers that have created videos that are super creative, showing their personality, the real them, those types of things. It also gives you the ability to show your work. So if you're an engineering student and you're wanting to show prospective employers the cool things that you've done, it gives you the ability to show something that would be very difficult to explain on a sheet of paper. Maybe you're a musician and you can show, you can play your instrument in your video. Maybe you're someone who's applying for a casino job, and this gives you the ability to show your card handling skills. There's lots of ways to show the things that you can do in your video profile. And then finally, you can stand out by showing extra effort. Oftentimes today, people apply for jobs simply by clicking a button and sending in an application. But by sharing your Me in 3 profile, it shows that you will, that you've gone the extra mile. You've taken the extra effort in order to stand out, and really that you're looking for an opportunity to share your experience in getting this job. Next thing we want to talk about is the new reality. Even before we got into the crisis that we're in today with the recent pandemic, people are becoming more and more used to finding things using a profile that often includes photos and videos. So when we think about things like finding a home or finding a car, we go to Zoom, we go to things like cars.com or AutoTrader to find a car, and we see oftentimes images of that car, but also information about the car and videos on the car. So things are becoming more and more along those lines as we go through life, and people are using these visual representations to find things. And that's what's going on in the employment world today as well. Also, we know that there are large numbers of applicants that are going to be on looking for jobs, that are going to be in the workforce. There are today, and it's going to continue to grow. And those are some of the reasons why it's important to have ways to stand out. Another part of the new reality is that remote hiring managers are more and more the norm. So hiring managers can't go into offices right now. They have to distance themselves along with the social distancing. And overall, people are going to be going through the hiring process in a remote way. It's important just to embrace these new things. And while some people may not be comfortable with creating a video profile today, we really recommend that you embrace that and that you take the jump and put yourself out there, show your soft skills in addition to the hard skills. And finally, hiring managers really want to use a tool like Me in 3 because they want to see personality. Many times hiring managers are hiring for jobs, hiring for positions that soft skills or personality skills are very important, often more important than the hard skills that are on a sheet of paper on a resume. They're also going to be going through a time where there are much more applicants applying for a job. There are larger numbers of applicants. And it's easier for them to go through the screening process by looking at videos and hearing stories, seeing personality, in addition to evaluating the things that they are seeing on a sheet of paper, on your resume. And finally, hiring managers are going to need to save time. And Me in 3 helps them save a tremendous amount of time by being able to combine some of those first steps in the hiring process that have traditionally taken considerably more time. So before we flip over and show you how to get signed up on the application, how to improve your video profile, I just want to show you real quickly what it looks like from the job creator standpoint. So once you submit your video profile to apply for a job, on the other end of the application on the platform, The job creator sees a dashboard where they have a list of the jobs that they have posted. And whenever they select one of those jobs, they see a list of candidates that are applying for that job. And this is really important because at this point, they're not just seeing the video that you've created, but they're seeing the other things that are part of your profile that we're about to talk about. So this is a great way to introduce Sarah. This was Sarah's profile whenever she applied for the job that she got. And she was actually the very first hire that Me and Three had to fill this role in the need for helping our customers be successful. So I'm going to flip it over to Sarah and let her show us how to set up a profile and how to make the best profile and then how to apply for jobs. Sarah, it's all yours.
Thank you, Brett. I appreciate that. I am ready to share my screen once you complete sharing yours. And I will walk everybody through what it actually looks like when you are going through the setup process of your account. So let me get in there. Perfect. So you should already have registered for an account at this point, but if you didn't, you would go through a very quick setup process. I've already got a login set up here for us to go through today, so I will go ahead and log in. Now, if you were missing any information in your initial setup process, you'll be prompted to enter that information again. It's some very basic information: your first and last name, your postal code or zip code, your email address will already be there. You'll enter your phone number and then select your preferred contact methods. You can select all or just one or two, whichever you prefer. The other required step at this point is to upload a resume. I already have a sample uploaded here, but it's a really quick process. You would just click the upload resume button, select your resume from your device, and then click upload, and it'll be all set for you. So since I've already done that, I'm gonna go ahead and save and continue. And then we get to the really fun part, and this is where we are going to upload our video. Now, you may have already uploaded yours, and that's okay. Some of us have not uploaded a video, so it's very simple. You can just click this Create Edit Video, and you'll have the option to either record the video directly from your camera on your device, or you can upload your video from your device. So I have a sample video that I'm going to go ahead and upload here. But before I do that, I do want to let you know that we provide a lot of resources to help you make an outstanding video. And I'll cover some of those here just very quickly. In this video that we provide, the tips and tricks video, we'll talk about some easy ways to set up your room. So things like your lighting, your sound, how to minimize interruptions. And then we'll also talk about what you should say in your video in this next one here. And just to give you kind of the outline of that, the things that you want to talk about in your Me and Three profile are going to be your skills, and that's going to include your technical skills, your soft skills, and also those transferable skills that you've maybe learned in another job and can take into a potential new role. When you talk about soft skills, you want to talk about things like customer service. You can talk about your personality and how you interact with customers and other coworkers. And then, of course, you can talk about your technical skills. Do you know how to code websites? Do you know how to create different types of documents? Anything along those lines. You also will want to talk about your education. You can describe your major and why you chose it. You can also talk about special projects that you completed in school. And if you're feeling really confident, you can actually show off that project in your video. So you can get really, really creative. The important thing, of course, in all of these videos is that you show the real you. What makes you unique? You can have fun with this. You maybe have a hidden talent. I know Brett mentioned earlier that you maybe are a musician. Well, why don't you play us a few chords on your guitar? You can have a lot of fun with these videos, and that's really what our job creators want to see. They want to see that creativity, and they want to know the real you. If you don't want to watch the videos regarding these tips and tricks or what to say, we do have abbreviated text versions available directly below the video upload section. So you can just click show more, and it'll provide you with a quick list of those handy tips that we've provided. So for this demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and click this create edit video button where I can upload my sample video. So I'll click that. I'll go ahead and click upload, give that a second to go through, and click save. So now you can see that's definitely something you want to make sure is that your face in your video is something you want to be visible. But this is just a sample, so that's okay. Once you've uploaded your video, you can save and continue. Now, here's something I really want to point out to you, because not everybody makes this step, but it's very important, and I'm going to show you why. So you have the option here to either enhance your profile or skip that and apply for jobs. I very strongly encourage you to enhance your profile. It makes your profile look more complete, which I'll show you an example of in just a moment. So there's a few things on this enhancement page. One is going to be to upload your profile photo. So let me go ahead and upload mine. And save it. And so you can see that my profile photo will be there. You can include your social media links. I will just go ahead and put in my Facebook account. But you can include whichever ones you want. A lot of times employers are looking at social media anyway, so it's best to provide them with the links that you would like them to see. Last but not least are our optional summaries. You can format these any way you like. I recommend a short bulleted list. So I'm going to go ahead and just create a sample here. And you'll want to do this for each of these summaries. Now, the reason I tell you to do this is because it gives just a quick glimpse before the job creator watches your video and a very short summary of your skills. I wouldn't do more than 3 or 4 bullet points for each one, depending on the type of job you're applying for. But this is a great space where you can call out some certifications that you have obtained. You can put a quick list of your most recent jobs, and you can talk about some of those skills that you want to mention. One thing I do not recommend is copying and pasting from your resume. Your resume is already attached to your profile, so there's no need to copy and paste the whole thing into these summaries. So I am going to go ahead and finish this step. And I get my little congratulations screen. And now I'm ready to actually go ahead and apply for jobs. Now you can use the search jobs feature. If you were sent a link from a job creator, that link will actually appear in your My Saved Jobs. As you can see, I did not have a link, so I'm going to go ahead and search for jobs. Our job search is based on the zip code. So I have my home zip code here, and the default search radius is 20 miles, but you can adjust that up to 50. If you were looking in another area, you can click this zip code and change the number. That way you can search for the area that you want to search in. So I'm going to go ahead and apply for a sample job here, which is our customer success manager. You would click the job, Of course, you want to carefully read the description and make sure that it's the job you want to apply for. At the very bottom of the screen, there's a drop down, and you'll be able to select the profile that you created. So I'm going to go ahead and click apply. But if you wanted to come back after you created your video, you could also click the save job posting. But for now, I'm going to click apply. And that's it. I was able to very easily apply it for that position. Other things that you can do with your Me-in-3 profile are sharing it to social media. So if you go to the My Profile section, you'll see this little share icon in the upper right-hand corner. You just click that, and you'll be able to post it to Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn directly. You can email it either to yourself or to someone else. This will actually open up an email in your default email program on your device, or you can copy the link to your clipboard, and then you can paste that link wherever you want. Something I really strongly recommend is actually putting the link to your Me-in-3 profile on your resume. This is a great way to provide it to employers who maybe are not on Me-in-3, and gives them that quick glimpse into the real you while they're reading your resume. So it's super exciting. If the link is too long for your resume, you can use a free service like Bitly to go ahead and create your own shortened URL, and that's completely free, so you can do that. Now, if you've already created your profile, but you want to go back and finish the enhancements, what you can do is click on your profile photo, and it will take you into that section with all of that information here. So you can add your social media links, you can change your zip code or address information, and then if you click resume defaults, you can update those summaries very quickly. Now, any jobs that you have applied for will appear in your job dashboard, so you can easily reference those and to make sure that your application went through. I definitely encourage you to share your profile on your resume, like I said, and then definitely put it out there on social media. They look great on a LinkedIn profile. And let me just give you an example of what that completed profile will look like when somebody clicks that link. So here's one that I created to give our job seekers and job creators an idea of my role here. So this is one that I have fully completed. And you can see my profile picture appears there, all our social media links, a link to my resume, as well as those summaries. This is why I encourage everybody to do the enhanced section of your profile. It really just looks nice and fills it out, and also gives the job creators a quick link. So I hope that has been helpful, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Brett. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. That's awesome. Great information. Well, let's look over and see if we have any questions, because that concludes the information that we wanted to share with you today. We do have a few questions that have come in. First question is, does it cost anything to create a profile? And the answer for that question is no, it does not. Everything from the job seeker's perspective is free today. In the future, there will be some enhanced capabilities and services that will be premium services, but absolutely free to create a profile and share that profile with anyone you would like to share it with. The next question is, how is this different than a video interview? That's an excellent question, because it is very different than a video interview. And many of you may have had these video interviews where the hiring manager sends you a link to an application, you go on, they ask you questions, you answer those questions within a certain amount of time, and then you send that and complete that, and then they look over it. So it's very different from video interviewing because, first of all, Me-in-3 is much earlier in the process. So typically you have a video interview only after you have been screened and made it through the first step in the process, the hiring process. So in the case of video interviewing, the hiring manager has all of the control. They ask questions, you answer the questions, and so you're basically providing them information that they're asking for. But with Me in 3, we designed it so that you as a job seeker have the power and the ability to tell your story. So all the things we talked about, the ability to stand out, the ability to be creative, the ability to explain things in your resume or your goals or your career changes, all of that power is given to you as the job seeker creating your profile. Okay, the next question, I'm going to let Sarah answer this one. It says, what should I say if I don't have any work experience?
That's actually a great question. And that's kind of the awesome thing about Me in 3 is that if you don't have a ton of work experience, you can talk about other things that you've done that have skills involved with them. So anything like volunteer work. I know I mentioned in my portion of the presentation that if you did a special project in school, you could talk about that. If you were ever part of a team or a club in either high school or college, you could certainly bring up your experience with that. The power is in your hands and you can really be as creative as you want. So don't be afraid if you don't have a ton of actual work experience. That doesn't mean you don't have skills or something else to talk about.
Awesome. Okay, next question is, what if the company that I'm applying to doesn't use Me in 3? Great question. We covered a little bit about that. Sarah did in her part of the presentation, but don't let that be a deterrent whatsoever. Me in 3 is designed to help you in your job search. So please feel free, and we highly recommend that you create your profile and share that. Even if the company that is hiring does not use Me in 3, we have had stories from job seekers that have told us that they got interviews when they normally wouldn't have, just because they shared their Me in 3 profile in the email to the prospective hiring manager or in their resume. So many of our job seekers are putting those links to their profile in their resume, and they're introducing the video aspect and the video profile to job creators or hiring managers, even though they don't currently use Me in 3 today. Okay, next question. Sarah, I'm gonna let you do this one as well. It's, what do I do if I have trouble uploading my video?
Another really good question, and something that everybody should know is that number one, the Me in 3 team is always here to help you. You can email us at help@mein3.com if you ever need assistance. There is live chat available on our website. There are lots of ways to get in touch with us, but there are a few quick things that you'll want to check if you are having trouble uploading your video. The number one thing that people run into is our software is actually best used in either Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox web browsers. So if you are using Safari, you could encounter some issues with uploading your video. So just switch your browser and then you shouldn't have any other issues. The other possibility is if your video is too long. So we always recommend a approximately 3-minute video. If your video is a whole lot longer than that, and I'm talking like maybe 6 minutes or more, it's probably too big of a file size and you're going to get timed out while you're trying to upload. If you are still trying, your video is short and you're using Chrome, definitely reach out to us for assistance. Again, that email address is help@mein3.com.
Fantastic. Thanks a bunch. That looks like that's all of the questions we have so far. If you have any other questions, again, feel free to email us at any time or use the online chat that's on the platform on www.mein3.com. Thanks everyone for your questions. Let's wrap up with just a few reminders. First of all, you should embrace the use of video as part of your profile to help you find a job. Take a few minutes to make a profile and make it the best it can be. We have the tagline of be seen, be heard, get hired. And we really feel like this is an opportunity to change the way hiring has been done forever. And we want to put that power in the hands of the job seekers so that they can tell their stories and tell their information. We recommend that you share your profile with your potential future boss and your network. So not only is it a good idea to use this to apply for a specific job that's open, but many people get jobs through their existing network. You just need to let people know that you are in the job market. And then please let us know if there's anything we can do to help. We want you to be successful, and we want to do everything we can do to help you be successful. And finally, we just want to say, be safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for joining us today. And we look forward to seeing and hearing you in the future. Thanks a lot.